Hey guys, so I thought before I get too deep into everything that I want to talk about, more specifically, such as epilepsy, pre-existing conditions, and all of that, I thought I'd just give you guys my story. So, I was born in South Central Los Angeles. My biological parents were mentally ill and drug afflicted, and during that time, I went back and forth from Los Angeles to here in Dubuque, Iowa, because what would happen is my mother, who was raising my sister and I, she would, time to time, she'd come back to Iowa on my parents' dime, and then she would take a red eye to get back to California, because there's something about California that just people who may not always be in the best state of mind, they flock to California, Southern California, obviously. So anyway, that was going on, and so there was really no stable childhood for a long time. Then eventually social services kind of kicked in, and the feds removed my sister and I from my mother's custody, and we were put into a foster home. Now, some of you may be aware, not all foster homes are exactly loving and in it for altruistic purposes. Tended to be the case. For the foster home we were put in, very crooked and profit-driven, so my sister and I were abused on a regular basis, of course, emotionally and however else, you may phrase abusive. And I myself was physically abused, because that's how males work. Males are aggressive, and my sister may have been as well, but that's kind of how that worked out. And then eventually my biological grandparents were able to adopt my sister and I. That took about 6 months for legal proceedings, because they had to go to a community college and take courses on how to parent, though they've already had 4 children at that time. And during that time as well, my sister and I kept getting pitches from, I guess you could say, and kind of like sales meetings from other lame parents who wanted to adopt us, and thankfully my sister and I never wanted to, because they were just lame people. And additionally, the foster parents wanted to adopt us as well, which I'm so glad that never happened, being that the abuse not only came from the foster parents themselves, but the actual children of the foster parents. So could not be happier, more than blessed that never happened. Don't know why they wanted to adopt us. That made no sense, because if they were, not good to us, it makes no sense why they would want to adopt us. So thankfully that blew over, and nothing became of that. And then my grandparents adopted us. We ended up living with them, and what happened was, once my grandparents kind of did all the health-related stuff, my sister and I had our physicals and just kind of got checked overall for health conditions. Turns out I had a growth disorder, so I had to start taking human growth hormone. And for the first couple of years, my grandfather would inject the growth hormone medicine into my leg, alternating legs every night. And then once I was strong enough, this is about maybe 5th grade, 4th grade, I started giving myself the injections. And so I like to joke about it, because I'm like refilling my medicine cartridges in the syringe. It was more like a pen, kind of like an EpiPen. And when I would be exchanging and replacing the medicine into the pen, it's late at night, and I almost look like a sniper who's putting on a silencer on the end of the barrel. I don't know, it's kind of poetic, something I can make some kind of funny poem about. And so I'm doing that, and then I'm growing up with my grandparents here in Iowa, age 3 to 18, and then comes age 15 is when I get diagnosed with epilepsy. And then unfortunately I can't take that human growth hormone medicine anymore. But the good news is I was at 55 percentile growth rate, because when I first started taking it, I was at the 2 percentile. I would have ended up being way smaller. Thankfully, you know, I'm tall enough. I don't have short man syndrome, as some people say. You know, I'm collected. I may not be the tallest guy. I'm about 5'10". Still skinny as hell though. I'm like 155 on a good day. I tried doing the weight program, but just can't seem to gain weight. By the way, sorry if this is so shaky. I don't do this at all. And yeah, so that's where the epilepsy came in. And so I still have seizures to this day. My first type of seizure was simple partial, where the left side of my body would just go numb and it would make the Jacksonian march towards down my leg. If you don't know what that is, to you epileptics, look it up. That'd be some nice knowledge to know next visit you have with your doctor. So I grew up playing competitive tennis, traveled nationwide, competed nationwide, trained nationwide, and then I went to college and played. You know, I began playing for Division I school my first year because that was always my dream. And then I transferred to another school, it was Division III. Unimportant details to the whole story. But anyway, came my senior year of college is when I had my first convulsive involuntary seizure. The entire left side of my body convulsed and looked kind of like something out of a movie, but not exactly, because what you see in movies is people foaming at the mouth and just moving in a spastic manner that's unrealistic. So the left side of my body started convulsing, and I did look like a fish out of water, but my mouth didn't foam. Okay, that doesn't happen. And that was when pretty much everything kind of began. Fighting my seizure disability and everything that comes with that. Little fun fact, when I had that seizure, I was out for a full week because the left side of my body was numb. I was pretty much paralyzed for a week. And so starting in 2000, I think that was maybe 2016, 17, 2016 was when I began that, you know, never-ending battle against epilepsy, because things really kicked in at that point. So I thought I'd just give you guys a quick synopsis of my story. A lot of what I'd like to be talking about as time goes on is I'd like to speak to the community of people with epilepsy, neurological disorders, seizure disorders, etc. But also, if you have other chronic illnesses, I'd love to get a discussion going, because we all know that people with chronic illnesses, we have a very kind of similar range of issues that we have to deal with, problems that we have to continue. There's a bug on me. Problems that we continually have to solve. And even if you're not, you know, a chronically ill patient, then by all means, please get involved and comment, become part of the community. This is an exclusive thing where it's like, you know, epileptics only, chronic patients only. You know, this is for everybody. So anyway, that's the end of my first video. I hope you guys got a decent understanding of kind of who I am, my story, and, you know, why I'm doing this. So yeah, please, you know, like, subscribe, all that crap, and, you know, comment, reach out to me, please. I'd love to get a discussion started. So, great. This is one of my earlier videos. I hope it was all right. Sorry, the camera's really shaky. Still learning how to do this stuff, and have a good one. Stay safe.